I want to talk about reality creation today because I think there's a beautiful way to look at it. We try to think about reality creation as manifestation and, if you could really create your reality, why haven't you just made yourself $1 billion or whatever right now, And it gets so materialistic. Reality creation is more about the way that you feel on a daily basis and less about what the external circumstances are. I'll just say for me, what has helped me so much in creating the reality I prefer to exist in, which is the frequency I've expanded to and the vibrations that I prefer to experience, right? I prefer to experience love, peace, joy, And during my healing journey, there was a time where I very much was looking at all of the abuse I had suffered through and all the times I made myself a victim, all the times I was a victim, all the times I, was hurt and wounded and didn't know what to do. And there was so much anger and so much resentment and so much grief, incredible amounts of shame and guilt and regret. And I realized that by diving into that, I had to dive into that. And I literally dove into my shadows and my darkness and realized the hell that I had experienced and that I was putting myself through. But I realized that as I went through that healing journey, I had created this story for myself about who I was and why I was the way that I was. And it was very negative. And at a certain point, that did serve me. But then at another point, it did not. And so to get out of that, I had to start telling myself, finding ways and different perspectives to tell myself a different story. A story that was more loving, more compassionate, more forgiving, more gentle, more soft, just more peaceful, better, just a better story. And so I let go of that victimhood story because it did not serve me anymore. It was not improving my life anymore. It helped me get out of this really low place of shame and feeling like a burden and feeling like this just waste of a human being, right? And it got me more into an angry place and I had so much grief and stuff. But then as I started to look for more beautiful perspectives and I let go of the old story and I started to shift to a new story, to something that felt good, that was beautiful. And it's like these layers and so I got to a new story that was more believable and more in line with what I wanted, more in line with my heart, more in line with what my truth was, because it felt good to believe it. And then at a certain point, even that story didn't serve me anymore. And I needed something more beautiful, more wonderful, more joyful. And so I let go of that old story, found a new one. And I just keep telling myself a new story. And I am not afraid to let go of a story that doesn't serve me anymore. And even though I identified with it so strongly for so long, and we all do. We all identify with our story of who we think we are. We identify with these ideas of who we are. And we think about it all the time. We do. We all do. Truly, we are all storytellers. We are creator beings. We are storytellers. And the more beautiful of a story you can tell yourself, regardless of what your external circumstances look like, regardless of what your past looks like or what you think it was, the more beautiful of a story you can tell yourself, that you can find for yourself, that you can open your heart to, the more beautiful you will feel, the more wonderful you will feel. And then once you feel that way and you have established this higher vibrational existence, and it doesn't mean you don't experience lower vibrations. It just means in general, your balance point, your center is in a beautiful place of love and peace and joy. That's where reality will then follow. Physical reality will follow where you are willing to go. So if you are willing to go into the depths of yourself and heal some shit, and then rise from the motherfucking ashes, right? Like a phoenix, and find something beautiful to believe in. Something to be beautiful to believe in about yourself, about who you are. That is what will save you. That is what will shift you into a reality. Remember, you have to change your internal state of being for your external reality to shift. So how do you do that? You start telling yourself a more beautiful story. You create something more beautiful and loving within yourself. And when you finally believe it, you will be it. And when you are it, external reality will start to follow. And the beautiful thing is, the most beautiful story I've been able to tell myself, I think, to this point, is that I'm perfect and whole exactly as I am in every moment. In every moment, I am exactly who I'm supposed to be. No more, no less. And I am who I am, and that is always enough. Always. It doesn't matter what things look like. It doesn't matter what I look like. It doesn't matter. Because how do I feel about myself? How do I feel about myself right in this moment? Am I wishing it was different? Am I thinking about the past? Am I worrying about the future? If I'm doing any of that, I'm not here now. In a way, that peace and that love comes from being totally present with the here and now. Because that's the only time and place that ever exists for any of us. And if we keep wanting to be somewhere else, we'll never actually get to love who we are. Because who we are is right here and now. There is nothing else for us, ever. Just here and now. So what is your beautiful story? What do you want to tell yourself? What are you telling yourself right now that feels awful? That feels bad to believe? Because I promise you it's not serving you. If I could just, go back in time and shift to this perspective right here, oh, I would. But it was a process. It was a process, and I'm very grateful for that journey, and I'm very grateful to be able to sit here and speak about this, because it changes everything. It changes everything. The more beautiful of a story you can create for yourself, the more beautiful reality becomes. Even just doing simple things, even if nothing's changed in the external, telling yourself a beautiful story about who you are, about what reality is, about what God is, about what your true nature is, everything just gets better and better and better and better. And eventually you feel like you actually deserve good things in your life. And then guess what? Good things come into your life. Beautiful relationships, friendships. Yes, good external things will happen. Amazing experiences. You'll get to go to beautiful places. You'll get to do all the things. But it all comes in time. It all comes in divine timing. And if you can just trust that where you are right here, right now, is all you need, ever. If you can get to that point, then you'll never be lacking for anything again. You'll never feel disconnected again. And you'll get to be yourself. And there is no greater joy for, I would say, any being anywhere than just being yourself. That's how you're designed. That's who you are. You are who you are. But when we lose ourselves, when we forget that, we suffer and cause ourselves a lot of trouble. So examine the story you're telling yourself. Examine your thoughts. And find out where you can improve it, because I promise you it's worth it. It is so fucking worth it. I love you guys. Have a good one.